box extra for my breakfast cereal that I eat because of collusion among cereal manufacturers, okay? Which is recently breaking down, as you see on TV. That collusion is breaking down. That was a market imperfection. In my mind, that private market failure pales into insignificance compared with governmental failures like budget deficits of $200 billion a year, or a savings and loan crisis that will cost $1 trillion to clean up, you know. So in my mind, market failure, we have to compare government failure and market failure, but in my mind, market failure is often insignificant, often self-correcting, often will be taken care of through the natural self-regulatory elements in a market. Government failures are usually like much larger and much more damaging. So I think, you know, we have to really weigh these two alternatives very closely. So last thing, number 11. Now, government. We've got two ways of choosing: private choices, public choices. Government is the mechanism for public choice. The market is the mechanism for private choice. Government's the right mechanism for public choice. What about government? Well, government has essential functions, as Joe Lehman said earlier. It has a protective function and a productive function. Government's protective function is to make the rules and the laws and to adjudicate disputes and take care of private property, primarily to take care of property rights. Adjudicate disputes over property, enforce contracts, make the rules, make the laws. Government also has a productive function, and that productive function is to provide these public goods we talked about before. These are two functions of minimal government. I didn't say anything about income redistribution. I didn't say anything about regulation. Those aren't necessarily functions of minimal government, although I'm not averse to those things entirely. But the protective and productive functions are the primary basic functions of government. Government and market sometimes are substitute arrangements for choice. Other times they complement one another, like a basic provision of a legal system and a judicial system and a legislative process that works efficiently. That complements private market choices. And the provision of public goods that wouldn't be provided by the private sector can complement and work in harmony with private sector capital accumulation and private sector economic decisions. But they can also be substitutes for one another. Everything doesn't have to be done publicly. It doesn't have to be done privately. So a market system is not anarchy. The market economy is a complex, sophisticated, and decentralized, spontaneous order. It's based on all these things. It's not anarchy. It's not all dog eat dog. There's a lot of cooperation that takes place, but it's self-interested and voluntary cooperation rather than coercive cooperation. The market system facilitates the accumulation of wealth and individual freedom, which is what I like about it. I like that very much. Somebody once said, Milton Friedman once said, that a market economy is a necessary but not sufficient condition for political democracy and for political freedom. It's necessary. You must have it. It's not enough. I mean, you can have a market economy and still have an authoritarian political system like in Chile in the 1970s and 80s. But you must have. You can't have a centrally planned economy and have a democratic political system. So the market is nice because it facilitates the accumulation of wealth based on individuals pursuing their self-interest, and it also makes possible freedom, individual freedom, and political democracy. That's nice. So do you have any questions for me? That was a lot. I know, that was a lot. I went fast, and that was a lot of stuff. That was very subjective stuff, though. You know, I think I'm going to be talking to you, most of you, this afternoon about how competitive markets function. And what we're going to do is we'll use this as like a basis, you know, kind of a subjective basis for a more compact and a little bit more technical analysis of competitive markets and how the market system works.
How did that, when you said it had two other possible functions, but they weren't the biggest one?
Regulating and redistributing income. What else does government do? Protective function, productive function, regulating, redistributing income, social engineering, does all kind of things, doesn't it? Not all of them good. These are the functions, in my mind, of minimal government. These are things that government must do, I mean, or else it would be anarchy. You know, government must do these things, and good government will fulfill these functions efficiently, just like any efficient use of resources. You'll get lots of good rules and laws and judicial system